Hey, all you sinners and saints, it's TJ here, the MotorSage. We're out bouncing around. The weather's turned quite a bit warmer and things are looking out. In fact, I see a couple of people wandering around in t-shirts and shorts and getting a jump on the spring weather. Things have been back and forth, not just by the weather, but all kinds of things. I had some problems transferring some documents. We find out that transferring from state to state during coronavirus epidemic and so forth isn't an easy thing because so many official offices of the government are closed down. And that's the way of things. I went out to change my driver's license over and the registration for my truck. Couldn't do it. Went into the driver's license center and they said, well, I have to have so many documents of identification. And one of those documents was a Social Security card. Well, I hauled out my Social Security card and you see that was issued back in about 1947 or so, who knows, way back in history. And well, it looks kind of bedraggled. Old things like that, old Social Security cards, old photographs, old people, we kind of get cast aside like old scriptures and old interpretations of those scriptures. Well, I hauled out that card and she says, well, it's not readable. I said, well, I can read it. She says, well, I can't read it clearly. Well, as it ended up, she told me I had to get a new Social Security card. So I get online and I start looking for Social Security cards and finally ended up with a phone number of the local Social Security office and called them up, find out they're closed. Can't get a Social Security card locally. Got to mail for it. I got back on the internet and found out, well, yeah, I got a mail for it and it could take a matter of weeks or longer because of the backlog for any kind of governmental operations or negotiations or dictations. So it's been feel a bit like a ping pong ball bouncing back and forth and not getting anywhere, getting anything done. All I want to do is just change my driver's license from one state to another, get my car or my truck rather registered from one state to the other, get my travel trailer changed over from one state to the other, kind of let things fall the way they should come about. It's amazing how when the government wants things to fall their way, that things can work out real smooth. I noticed that since the new administration has been in Washington, they get all kinds of executive orders been signed and things that have been implemented and negated from the previous administration really got done in a hurry. But I can't get a Social Security card. Well, I'm amazed at how government can try to take over our lives. But in no small way, it's kind of the way Jesus experienced things way back when. You see, in his day, the government was composed of three different factions. There was the Israelite government with Herod and his crew. Then there were the various political parties, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, the Zealots, and more, who were trying to influence the way the government made rules. And then on top of that, they had the Sanhedrin, which was the government for the temple, that were involved in all of these things. So when Jesus went to Jerusalem and his disciples thinking that he was going to be the Messiah, well, Jesus got arrested. And they kind of passed him around like my looking for a change in my driver's license. They passed him from one authority to the next, back and forth, and finally they sent him to Pilate, the Roman governor. And he questioned him, he beat him, he put a crown of thorns on him, and shipped him back to the Jewish authorities. And under their tutelage and their instruction, well, Jesus was crucified. Well, remember that, because I think the way things are going on here, there are some new thoughts and legislation that's come down with the present administration that could tend to follow the same pattern. So as you're bouncing around, as the weather improves, just remember to watch out on the news and publications on the internet, and even locally within your congregations. Things are changing. They're to the point that not only governmental offices are shut down, some state governments have dictated that churches can even be shut down. Pastors have been arrested for holding services. So it's a very uncertain time. But through it all, we have to remember that even though the various factions within the government way back when Jesus went into Jerusalem that got together so that he was crucified, dead, and buried were caught by surprise when he rose again. So as Palm Sunday arrives and Easter follows up, let's just remember that Jesus rose again. And we will follow in his footsteps. Thanks be to God. Amen.